Starring in a film isn't always as glamorous as it might seem. In many cases, actors end up injuring themselves while performing stunts, or even just acting out what should be a completely harmless scene. Welcome to The Rewind. Today, we'll be counting down the top 10 real movie injuries that made the final cut. Before we begin, make sure you leave a like and hit that subscribe button for good luck. Number 10. A painful landing. Troy. No! During the film's climactic Battle of Troy scene, Achilles, played by Brad Pitt, awkwardly lands on his feet. You can see the pain on Pitt's face as the sudden shock of his injury shoots upward through the rest of his body. Ironically, the injury that Pitt sustained while playing Achilles was in fact an injury to his own literal Achilles tendon, and production on the 2004 film had to be postponed for several weeks. Number 9. Maimed hand. Nightcrawler. Sometimes an actor pours so much into a scene that it almost seems like they forgot that they're only acting. This is definitely the case during one scene in Nightcrawler, where Lou Bloom, portrayed by Jake Gyllenhaal, literally punches a bathroom mirror, shattering it to pieces. While the scene was ultimately left in due to Gyllenhaal's incredible acting, the actor's hand was maimed when he shattered the mirror, and he even ended up in the hospital.
I'm not fucking interested. Instead, I'm gonna drive home and do some accounting.
Number 8. Two broken toes. The Two Towers. There's a very emotional scene in the second installment of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where Aragorn rides up to a pile of orc remains and fears that Merry and Pippin have been killed. In response, Aragorn kicks his helmet across the screen and lets out an agonizing cry. While many probably thought this was just great acting on the part of Viggo Mortensen, who plays Aragorn, the actor was in actual physical pain. As he kicked his helmet, Mortensen injured himself and turned the two towers into the two broken toes.
Thank God. What madness drove me there?
Number 7. Slippery bleachers. The Princess Diaries.
You always have to look just right. Number 3. Are you okay?
In the scene where Mia's friend Lily is listing off all the cons of being a princess, the two are walking up and down a set of bleachers that appear to be wet from the rain. As Lily gets to number 3 on her list of reasons that Mia shouldn't become a princess, Mia, played by Anne Hathaway, slips and falls on one of the bleachers to everyone's surprise. Apparently this fall wasn't scripted at all, but all the actors did such a good job staying in character that the scene was left in. In fact, to Hathaway's surprise, the scene was even used in the movie's trailer.
Number 3, what was number 3? Okay, number 3, you can't go nutso. You can't be all like, blah, during the day.
Number 6. Trash damage. The Godfather. When Sonny finds out that his sister Connie is being physically abused by her husband Carlo, he decides to take matters into his own hands. When Sonny catches up to Carlo, he begins beating him mercilessly, using whatever he can to inflict pain. In one instance, James Caan, who plays Sonny, bashes Carlo with a trash can. Gianni Russo, the actor who plays Carlo, ended up with broken ribs as a result of the brutal beating.
My sister again, I'll kill you.
Number 5. Self-harm breakdown. Apocalypse Now. In the opening scene of Apocalypse Now, we see Captain Benjamin Willard, played by Martin Sheen, drunk and going stir-crazy to the point of even injuring his own hand. Benjamin's blood from the wound ends up all over the bed, and the actor even wipes it on his own face. This turned out to be Sheen's real blood as opposed to some movie magic, which means a lot of the acting in the scene was pretty much the real deal. Some even believe Sheen was actually drunk during the scene, but who knows for sure. Number 4. Permanent scarring. Patriot Games. During the climactic speedboat showdown between Harrison Ford and Sean Bean's character, Ford strikes Bean in the face with a metal hook. As it turns out, the hit was real, and the blood above Bean's eye is actually his own. The injury left a permanent scar over Bean's left eye. Luckily, the actor tends to be cast as the villain in a lot of his movies, so the scar only helps to intensify his evil appearance. Number 3. Nearly strangled to death. Inglourious Bastards. When filming Diane Kruger's death scene, the movie's director, Quentin Tarantino, choked Kruger with his own hands instead of letting Christoph Waltz perform the scene himself. Tarantino really was strangling Kruger though, and her attempt to fight back in the film is genuine. This scene was obviously kept in due to how raw the acting is, and some sources even claim Kruger really passed out while filming this scene, but that has yet to be confirmed. Number 2. Burning Witch. The Wizard of Oz. Who could forget the iconic scene from The Wizard of Oz, where the Wicked Witch is first introduced and then disappears into a blazing cloud of smoke? Apparently, the trapdoor that Margaret Hamilton was supposed to fall through took a bit longer to open than the crew had expected, which meant that she was still on the surface when the flames arose. The fire left the actress with second-degree burns on her face and third-degree burns on her hand. She refused to do any more stunts involving fire after that scene, and who can blame her? Though she sure didn't mind burning the scarecrow with that fireball.
Wanna play ball?
Number 1. Hand in Glass. Django Unchained.
Hey! Lay your palms flat on that tabletop! If you lift those palms off that turtle shell tabletop, Mr. Pooch is gonna let loose with both barrels that sawed off.
Probably the most iconic on-screen injury has to be the scene in Django Unchained, where Leonardo DiCaprio smashes his hand through glass. This wasn't at all intentional, and you can even see the look on DiCaprio's face when he stares at his wound before he keeps moving forward with the script. This scene was simply too good not to put in the film, and it became one of the most memorable accidents in any film.
What's it gonna be, Doc? Huh? What's it gonna be? May I lift the hands off the tabletop in order to remove my billfold?
What do you think of our list? Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a like and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Check out these other videos from the Rewind, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another video again.